So I don't know about you guys all, but I was a little disappointed with the All-Star weekend. I have to get it out, and we're going to talk about it on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everyone, to this bonus episode of Locked On Coyotes. I'm Robyn and that's Carl Pavlock, as we discuss the All-Star weekend, because, it was a few days ago, but I feel like we should talk about it, Carl. I was disappointed at this All-Star weekend in the sense that, yes, I was disappointed personally.
Okay.
I feel like the All-Star weekend excitement has lost a lot of its luster.
Okay. I'm going to say I was not disappointed because I have felt that way for years. And so I have no expectations for the All-Star weekend. It is definitely one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to watch the highlights that make it to Twitter and I'm going to not care about the rest of it. And that works out pretty well. But if you are still invested in the All-Star weekend, yeah, I can see it being disappointed.
See, because I think the thing is for me is I think of All-Star weekends and I compare them to the All-Star games or All-Star weeks of all the other major sporting leagues.
Sure.
And for a while, I actually had the NHL at around top two. It kind of rotated in and out every now and then. With the let's see, in terms of the Pro Bowl and the NFL's Pro Bowl being the bottom, which I believe they changed the format, so now that's different. But I don't know how that went, so I can't give any feedback to that, whether or not it's improved from their number 4 spot. I had the NBA at number 3 because it was not exciting to me at all. It was the same thing. It's just there's skills competition with a 3-point challenge, dunk contest, and a couple other things. The NHL always had something unique to it, but still a lot of the same skills competitions. The tournament, the 3-on-3 tournament, kind of was all the same because the players were like, who the players were, and I feel like it's rigged in a lot of certain plays and who gets where. I always thought baseball was the best in terms of their All-Star weekend. There's a lot of excitement to that, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older that I have a Mandela effect-ish idea that it was better than I remember it was.
That's just being cynical. That's not a Mandela effect, but yeah, no, it's possible. There is definitely I don't know. When I watch the NHL All-Star game, I always try and figure out who is this for? Is this for the players? Is it for casual fans? Is it for diehard fans? And I've never really been able to get a great answer on that. It seems like it's something that's trying to be for everyone that just doesn't work. And I don't know why, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've always really liked the All-Star weekend, and the fact that this time around, my attention span wasn't there as much. I was just like, yeah, I can go without tuning into the entire darn thing.
I mean, I will say this about the NHL All-Star weekend. They have been incorporating women's hockey into the skills competition, which is great in my opinion. I love
Since
that.
2019, that was the first
Yeah.
year they. I mean, 2018, I think, couple even, but 2019 they did it. They really ramped it up.
Yeah. And I love that we're getting more attention on women's hockey. I think it's something that deserves more attention. I love the aesthetic of this year's All-Star game. I am older than you, so I have a little bit more of that nostalgia in my head for the Miami's Vice style. So I love the look of everything. I love all of the designs. I love the jerseys. It feels very 1980s Miami cocaine, which is just my vibe.
I
But
will say that. I will say the reverse retro jerseys
reverse
were
retro jerseys, that was another thing. Yeah,
A
good.
plus on that. A plus on those reverse retro jerseys.
Yeah. It's just like everything else. I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know if it's just too gimmicky for me, or what. Because let's be fair, it's very gimmicky. It has always been gimmicky. Like it is a running theme, I think, in all sports that no one tries at the All Star game.
Absolutely. We're talking about our thoughts on the NHL's All Star Weekend on this bonus episode of Locked On Coyotes. We're going to go get to a little bit more of our thoughts and finish up this show in just a little bit. But first, a quick word from our sponsors on the show. And this year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they are the #1 sports book in America, FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better because they have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. You can download FanDuel now. You can bet on Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. You know I'm going to be betting on Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce that they both get a touchdown because, hey, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They are really darn good. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So feel free to download FanDuel and join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports book partner of the NFL.
Looking for a delicious treat but don't want all the calories and fat? Then you gotta try Built Bar. They come in some unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. And I'm not sure how Built Bar does it, but these bars taste like a candy bar while maintaining an amazing amount of macros. And what's better is they're healthy. They're only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't need to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about Built Bars at Built.com, but now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. That's right. You can head over to your nearest Walmart today, walk up to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puff.
So let's finish some thoughts, Carl, on the NHL's All-Star Weekend. As much as I am going to criticize and talk about things I hated, I already said things I like. Like I said, I like the jerseys.
Yeah.
There are elements I like, and I'll kind of go back to what you mentioned too with incorporating women's hockey. And I think also making it a little bit for the players too, because the addition of, like, for example, like that breakaway challenge that they had of, Alex Ovechkin bringing in his kid.
Yeah.
I love that. Don't ask Dominic Hasek what he thinks about it. If you follow Twitter, you very well know
Yes.
what he thinks about it. But I like that aspect.
Yeah. The skills competition does seem to be like an area where the players are allowed to show like 10% personality. And it's usually something kind of safe, which is one of those things why it never really hits as hard as it can for me. Like little Ovechkin was definitely, I think, the best of what I've seen in recent All-Star skills player kind of, hey, this is a fun moment for us situations. But in general, I feel like they're not necessarily the most daring or exciting flourishes. I do like the players have a chance to flourish though.
Yeah, they just go out there and have some fun, or do some things, kind of just you know just enjoy themselves in some ways. Another aspect I'll do say that I did like, and it's something that I like about the NHL All-Star Weekend as a whole, is the host city gets to pick a unique skill challenge that's unique to their city.
Yeah.
Um, I can't remember how long that's been going for.
Seems pretty recent, but
I
definitely
want
a
to say
good
that was
addition.
also either 2018 or 19. Like, 'cause I do know, like, San Jose, when it was there, it did it, and I'm always going to turn back to that year because, I mean, that's where I'm from originally, and I spent All-Star Weekend there, at the Fan Fest and a lot of other things where I got a chance to get up close with a lot of awesome stuff. But the
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 puck
the
golf event was
yeah, the
it
puck
was
golf, what was that called? The pitch and puck?
I think it was the Chipotle TM pitch and putt. Because we gotta get sponsors in there. Which is maybe another reason why it feels very soulless and corporate. But yeah,
Yeah, that's another thing too. Going too much into, corporate sponsorships on it. I mean, I get it. Got to pay the bills. I mean, that's what we got to do too. We got to do here on this podcast. We got to pay bills, but
we have
just
sponsors. Yes, yeah,
it feels
just
a little overdone in some situations.
ease it down. I do like that. I think originally, like, there was a plan to do like frozen pieces of meat at alligators, and they said no to that. And PETA responded with like, "Hey, it's good you said no, and I am going to agree with PETA on this. Don't do that with animals. It seems not good." Uh, I saw Gritty played with an alligator. That was fun. Ooh, the mascots. Best part of the All Star weekend is the mascots and all the shenanigans they get up to.
Oh, 100%. I always like, especially if you're there, I think it makes it even more fun for any All-Star weekend. Is in the All-Star like fan fest that they have in these cities. They always have mascot events in there, and it's a little bit more of these mascots effing around. Um, I remember seeing, I think who I'm trying to think um the three California mascots, Sharky, Bailey, and Wild Wing, just kind of like screwing around with. I want to say it was Victory Green, just for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Um,
Like a couple years ago, everyone fell in love with like all of the Japanese mascots that they have because they have so many and they're so good. But I do think that we get a little bit of that like in the NHL All Star break, like on the weekend with all the mascots. They do great work. They really seem to embody those characters in a way. Um, and I don't know what it says about me that my favorite part of the NHL All Star break is the mascots, but I don't think I'm alone.
Probably not. I think a lot of purist hockey fans though are gonna be like, no, it's about the hockey.
I don't even think the purists watch the All Star game.
Right, they don't. They're and it's the casual hockey fans are like, it's like, okay, this weekend wasn't meant for you.
Yeah, yeah, and throw something to the casual fan. If the casual fans like it, that's cool. I, I feel very old and cynical and jaded. I'm like, the NHL All-Star Game is not for me. Like, no part of the weekend is really for me, other than, like I said, the highlights I can see on Twitter.
Yeah, and I will say this too. It's not for me either. I and based off what I said earlier, I kind of was disappointed in the sense that, I feel like it's lost its luster, but probably because I've kind of grown out of that idea that it's for me. I'm like, okay, now, professional, I look at it in a different lens. That's one. But I will say something that will be awesome is to have an all-star weekend here in Arizona, Carl, if the TED becomes a thing, because the Fan Fest is the best part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the way to fans to get up close with all the trophies, including the Stanley Cup. It will allow you to kind of interact with some of the players there if they show up, get some autographs, do some other, skills challenges of your own, just like, hey, your slap shot challenge inside the Fan Fest. It is pretty fun. And if you are listening elsewhere and have an all-star weekend coming to your city, I highly recommend you check out an All-Star Fan Fest. And if you are here in Arizona and you live in Tempe, you vote yes in the TED, has a higher chance of becoming a thing in a few years to come.
Yeah. If you are in Toronto or near Toronto, you can go to the next year's NHL All-Star Game. It is a thing that I will definitely do in person. I'm just not going to watch it on TV.
That's fair. 100% fair. Any final thoughts you want to give before we close?
Nah, I think I've pretty much covered it. Don't get to talk about how I don't like the All-Star Games much. So this was nice.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to be it for this bonus episode of Locked On Coyotes. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you have yet to already. We are available everywhere you get your podcasts, including on YouTube. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, and on Twitter at LO_Coyotes. I'm personally at Robyn_Leano. Carl Pavlock is at Carl Pavlock FFH. Interact with us, ask a question you might have. We may answer right back or on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys staying safe out there. Hope you guys staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.